boy, NJ Buckle. Buckle. Trigger warning. Karen's away.
Hey, we back, bro. It's your boy. Back at it again with our third. I still am not set on the name. I kind of like Hyperactive Executive. But I'm trying to think of another name. I want to combine ADHD, music, and running all in one. So if anyone has any ideas for names, shout it out. We might do a thing too where if people leave comments or email me with different stories, then I react to them. That could be kind of funny. Or send me videos to react to. Could be funny. So a few things have happened. One, I'm in a great fucking mood. I think part of it is because I started taking my ADHD medication again. So, it really just operates as an anti-anxiety med. Just because your baseline dopamine is just better, so you're just slightly happier all the time. So since then, we did another hour, 10-mile run. Got down to 627. Did that with Lannis and Michael Jordan. Oh, no, I think I already mentioned that. Never mind. So then we did, next day was just an easy, I think I did 40-minute, just easy shakeout. I kind of felt a little dead, not going to lie. Just flat. And then, but yeah, I did 40 minutes. I don't think I got faster than 6:55, and then I was kind of cruising around 7:30, 7:20 kind of pace. And then I did a little pre-meet thing where I just did 10 minutes easy. I did 5x100 kind of stride type shit, and then 10, 15-minute cool down, and that was kind of it. But I felt in a really good mood that day. I just remember the run being amazing. Still grinding music. Oh, I got stories for that, but yeah, dude. Oh man, I need to get in the music scene, bro. Cause I feel dude, I am this close for making a hit song. I just need to be in the right time, right place, and the right people around me, and I can hit it, dude. I'm waiting for it. So that could be huge. That genuinely can be huge. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm just demolished in homework right now, dude. It's just task paralysis. I'm at the point right now where I'm so overwhelmed that it's I don't even know where I should start. And it's just the other hard part too is it's the perfect combination of where half of it's busy work and half of it's you have to actually think. And it's people always tell me oh, busy work's both of them suck. Neither are fun. Even the thinking ones, even if it's something that I'm interested in, I can work on it for about an hour and I'll lose energy. And I don't know if anyone gets it. I lose brain energy. My brain has a capacity. I have the smallest brain work capacity. Even if it's something that I'm completely hyper focused in, it's a few hours and then I'm done for the day. It's just that's how my brain works. And it's just it sucks because I don't have brain energy, but I have tons of physical energy. It's really weird. And the ADHD med doesn't really help with that. It makes me less impulsive, more relaxed, and just not as depressed, which can lead to better results. Which my best grades ever were on it, because I got a 3.1, 3.0 GPA, but for me that's straight A's in college. So yeah, no D's, no C's, just 2 B's, you know what I mean? So now it's I got an extra class added on, and it's just dude, I just feel behind. So it's just it's so hard. Cause I'll sit down and do homework and it will take me 3 hours for a 20-minute busy work assignment, because the problem is I can only stay focused for so long. And then it's not even that I go on my phone. It's that my brain literally just can't think about it anymore. So I'll just stare at the screen and daydream. It's so annoying, dude. Like, people do not get it. Like, I hate people that, like, pretend that they have ADHD. It's like, you do not have this, dude. Because if you had what I had, you would not be able to, like, operate. Like, it's just, without medication, it's not even close. Like, I'm finding out now I might have to go on Adderall because the Ritalin's not even, like, strong. Like, I don't feel it. It's genuinely just anti-anxiety, and, like, I'm in a better mood all the time. But I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not, I'm not, like, insanely focused. I remember the first time I took it, though, it was very, like, emotional because I felt way less anxious. Like, I remember I was crying. Like, it was just, because I got a glimpse of what it's like to be, like, kind of normal. Like, to kind of, like, feel happy all the time. Like, because I just don't get as much dopamine. That's why I have to always seek it out, is because my baseline level just is not there. So it was really, like, awesome to, like, you know, I remember I was, like, when it kicked in, I was sitting on the streetcar listening to music, and then I like felt it. Like, the music was just so good, and the, like, just I was, like, looking at everything. It was like looking at everything in slow motion in 4K. It was borderline psychedelic. But yeah, so blah, blah, blah. So race day. I basically just perfectly executed the race plan. Did what my coach told me to do, 5:20 first 2 miles, basically did that. We were basically between 82 and 78s for the entire first 2 miles, and then I cut down a little bit. I think I cut down, like, you know, I think I did like another 78, another 78, 76, and like a 72. I know I closed in a 72. Little mad at myself because looking back, like, I could have totally ran through the line. I also was, like, surprised when I heard mile to go. I was like, oh shit, I gotta, like, wind up. Like, dude, I'm just such, like, a long distance runner. Like, and they had like Freebird playing at the beginning. Oh my God, it was fire, dude. I was like stimming in the middle of the race. I was, like, doing the guitar solo, like air guitaring, because, like, dude, I mean, my legs can't go that fast, but, like, aerobically, dude, like, the first mile it literally felt like, you know, a moderate tempo run. And then obviously over time the fatigue sets in. But yeah, so I think it was like 5:20, and then, like, obviously a low 5, so like 5:15, 5:18, somewhere that range. It ended up being 16:34, and technically my PR is 16:29, and for literally being injured for the last 2 months, like, I'll take it. And also considering, like, I literally on purpose went out extremely slow. Like I was watching, like, the video that I sent. It literally looked like we were tempoing. Linus cooked, bro. Linus stayed right behind me. Just stayed true. We like stayed smooth. And then at the end, I outkicked him. But he was close. I mean, what, 6 seconds away from me? He ran 16:40. And I think his PR is like low 17, so pretty huge for him. But it's really awesome to see him, like, you know what I mean? I think that's going to be a huge confidence booster for him. And it's going to be, like, it's going to be sick, dude. I can't wait to, like, have someone to, like, race with and compete with. And I think, like, Linus is, like, balances me out. Because he's not as neurotic as me. He's pretty chill. So we balance each other out. We both have the same style of, like, running. Like, we're both just kind of, like, strength runners. We have the speed, but it's not, like I said, it's not our talent. It's not very good. But yeah, looking back, I could have probably closed a little bit harder. And obviously, if I was running all out, probably that second mile, I could have probably dropped like a 5:10. But, like, realistically, I probably wouldn't have ran faster than like 16:10. If I was, like, truly going all out, probably 16:10 based on the fitness level that I was at. It was beautiful out. It was at Lewis and Clark, dude. One of the nicest tracks in the country. I'd say probably I would say it's the top 5 track in the country. It's just such a nice vibe. And like I said, they had Freebird playing. And I was just, like, enjoying everything. Just, like, you know, listening to music, hanging out with people before. I got to see some of the sprinters, you know, because I haven't really, like, you know, we have practices at different times with the sprinters. So I get to, like, you know, kind of see them in action. And that was really cool. You know, because I don't really know the sprinters as well. You know, this is the newer team. So it's just, like, it was really cool to, like, kind of get to know everyone just, like, from afar. That makes sense. But yeah, me and Linus were just, like, chilling, listening to music. And he always gets mad at me because I always like change shit up or whatever. And then last second, one of my teammates, Miles, 400-meter runner, bro was like, you know, like, oh, I have this jazz class and I have to go like to a jazz concert and like write about it. So do you want to go to this jazz concert with me? And it was like a college jazz concert. And I was like, bro, let's go. So it was at like 7:40 p.m. So we hit up the dining hall, ate and shit. And then we went over to Vancouver, Washington, went over to Clark College. And I think it was like 7:30 to 9 p.m. And the first band was okay. Pretty good harmonization from the brass line, but everything else was kind of trash. Really good music selection. I really like the band director, like really good music selection. Like, because he didn't pick any like cliche, like he didn't just pick like Caravan, Night in Tunisia, Autumn Fault, right? It was like original, like I had never heard these songs before. And then like halfway through the song, I was like, oh, I know that lick. Like I know that like standard. But yeah, really good music. It's very like Cuban-esque, which is nice because I hate the like jazz where it's like that slow, like depressing. It's just a trumpet, but it was kind of like that, but with background harmonization. So it was still interesting and like polyphonics. Is it dualophonic? Oh, I don't remember, but like anything harmony, dude. I am pro harmony. So like, you know, it just always sounds amazing. And then the real jazz band came out, dude, and they were borderline could have been a professional band. I mean, if you like knew what you were looking for, like me, you could see where there were holes. The piano player was all right. But dude, like, that horn line, just the brass was really freaking good. The woodwinds were actually pretty solid too. Like there was the really good saxophone player, and there was a solid clarinet player, and flute player. Because I'm usually surprised. Like I usually am not a big woodwind guy because it's just like it never sounds that great. But when you have a great player, oh, and they had a good drummer too. Like, you know, because like the first drummer, I was like, okay, I could play that. Like genuinely, it was da 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 da. But the second drummer was legit. I was like, okay, I can't play that. But it was really cool, like just really good music, really good like horn line, like very good blend. You could definitely tell like it wasn't like obviously what's the Texas band? My dad was telling me about them, but I was like listening to them. It's like 200 BPM and they're like perfect. Like it sounds like 180 fucking horns playing at the same time, but obviously not to that standard, but dude, it was really good. I enjoyed it. I was like dancing the whole time. Miles was like, dude, I'm so tired. I want to get the fuck out of here. And I'm just like, dude, I'm like vibing, man. I was like conducting. I was like counting it out because I've been practicing like learning how to conduct for no reason. But yeah, so like that was fucking awesome. Just like, dude, if any teammates or friends are listening to this, bro, dude, hook me up with concerts, bro, because I could listen to music. Like, the other problem too, dude, is just like, what is this? Like, our generation doesn't dance, and it pisses me the fuck off. Like, they can only dance if it's like a meme. They can't just like genuinely dance. Like, I don't know what it is. It really pisses me off. Like, it really enrages me when people are too embarrassed to dance. Like, and this was what's so funny is like, I think a lot of people think that I don't have self-awareness. I am completely self-aware of my actions. I completely know when I do this, people are going to react this way. I just don't give a shit. I've kind of like been always the weirdo and been the crazy guy that I've kind of just gotten used to it to where it's like that stuff doesn't really bother me anymore. Like that's one of the few things that I really like about myself is that I don't give a really that much of a shit of what people think in like a societal context. And on a personal context, I do still feel the like, you know, from the ADHD, the rejection sensitive dysphoria or whatever, where it's just like, you know, someone like says something about you that's not even like, they're just like not even realizing they're saying it. And you just feel like this intense feeling of just rejection. That I feel. But in like a group setting and everything, like I don't care. Like I'll literally like be like dancing and like singing with my fucking headphones on, walking around the athletic center, and like people are like, "This guy's a moron," and I'm like, I don't care. But yeah, shout out to Miles for taking me because that was really fun, and it was free too. And it was like I said, like it could have been bad, and it was it was enjoyable. Like I liked the music, and I liked the musical selections too. I was trying to find them on Spotify, and I couldn't find like half of them. I was kind of pissed off. Some hella deep cuts. But yeah, shout out to Clark College Jazz Band. It was very interesting. Like the director did barely any conducting. Like he just kind of like walked around and kind of like cued people, which I don't know if that's like what you do in jazz band. Okay, now it's on to the negative. You know, this is, you know, kind of a D1 hater podcast. So, podcast, whatever. So Karen's away. Trigger warning. What was I gonna say? Oh, dude. Musical pet peeve, dude. People that can't hear or feel the music and have to look at the fucking sheet music. That shit, oh my fucking God, dude. Like, oh. Dude, like, I don't want to say that you shouldn't, like, live, but there's something about people that, like, the second you take the sheet music away, they can't stay in time and they can't feel the music. And they can't like solo, or they don't know how to fill in the gaps. Or like people, when they have a solo, they don't know how to solo. Like they don't know how to fit the vibe of the music. So it just sounds like they're just like, especially like with a trumpet player or whatever. And this isn't about the performance. This is just in general that I've always had to deal with being in the music scene. Is just that shit of just people not being able to feel or appreciate music. Like it's got to be on the fucking sheet. And then also there's the other side, where it's like these people that can only like solo, but they also can't feel the music. It's like the complete other direction where it's like they can't stay on beat. They have to always do like some fucking crazy like triad or like, and this is mainly in piano players, but I see it a lot too with drummers as well. It's like, no, just keep the fucking groove, dude. Like there's something about that, dude, that I think genuinely separates good musicians from great musicians. Like if you look at the best musicians in the world, they're able to do those complicated things by simplifying them, right? And some of the like people that like suck, right, and give genres or give, you know, certain bands like a bad rap is by just over complicating shit that's like doesn't, like it's not even supposed to be complicated. Like I remember Jacob Collier, like I love Jacob Collier, but he's said some stupid shit, you know, like he talks about how he always, you know, in some ways tries to like make everything complicated in his music because the lyrics aren't complicated. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, no, that's not how it works. Like, I hate this like complicated or not complicated. It's just make music that sounds good. That's all that fucking matters. No one gives a shit if you're putting a fucking triad diminished 5 in the fucking, you know, second verse of the song, dude. No one gives a shit. Like, it's about how does the music make me feel? It's literally that scene from Oppenheimer. It's not about can you read the music, can you play the music? Can you hear the music? Literally, dude. So, yeah. And I guess Kendrick is releasing that movie. Well, it turns out he didn't release an album on March 8th, so L for me. But I guess he is releasing a movie. I'm really worried that it's a comedy because dude, there's just something about like comedies these days. They're just not that funny, especially like the racial ones. So I'm very curious. Like I'm excited. Because like, you know, Kendrick has a lot of like acting chops, I feel like, but it'll be very interesting. I also wonder, like, is there going to be a soundtrack? How is that going to work? Because obviously, I mean, dude, he made a soundtrack for Black Panther, so there's going to be a soundtrack for this one. It's also funny that the name of the movie is Whitney, so is his wife. I also don't know if his wife's going to be in the movie. Like, that'll be interesting. I really don't know what to expect from the movie. Is he going to be his normal self, or is he going to be like funny and goofy? Like, I'm very curious to see, and I'm also curious to see how it ties in with, like, is he going to, like, references music? Is there going to be like metaphors and deep meaning? Or is it like him trying to be a little more like funny and not taking everything seriously? And it's like him, like it'll be a very interesting thing. Dude, what the fuck? On a political note, like, dude, what the fuck is Trump doing, bro? Like, I just like, it's so funny, man. It's so like, oh my God. And all these like idiots, like, they just think that they made the smart move by choosing Trump. And it's just like, dude, what the fuck is he doing? He's like changing shit that doesn't even matter, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Are we really saving that much money? Like, come on, dude. And it's like, do things need to be simplified? Does there need to be less bureaucracy? Yes. But that doesn't mean fucking just, get rid of this. You know what I mean? And like, he has no idea, I guess, what leadership is, because if you take big, organizations and you fire their leaders illegally, not even legally allowed to do, like, there's no leadership, there's no chain of command. And that's how all these organizations work, is through chain of command. That's how it's worked for freaking decades. It's the least conservative thing you can do. Like, that's what I don't understand, is everything he does is not conservative and not predictable. He's probably one of the least conservative presidents ever. He's full on just do whatever I want. And it's like so weird. Like, it's not even politics anymore. I think he's just messing around. Like, it's such like a psyop, I swear to God. It's going to be an interesting next 4 years. And it's like, dude, I can't believe, like, hey, dude, half the country voted for him. So, I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, I definitely didn't think that, like, he was going to do anything insanely crazy. I thought, like, a lot of that was just going to be him saying that to say that. But he definitely has done a lot more crazy shit than I thought he was going to do. And it's just really, like, because I think what people, like, and this is the problem with, both sides on the political spectrum, is we're not focusing on the big issues in America. We're focusing on these small issues because they're politically polarizing and entertaining to talk about. And there will always be division, which means there's always going to be power to be consumed, right? But like, I don't know, what about homelessness? What about the obesity epidemic? What about like, I don't know, let's solve cancer? I also think it's funny, like, why aren't we just putting all of our money in medical research and then basically let everyone live? You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, like, big issues, homelessness, fentanyl crisis, suicide, fucking suicide. Wasn't it like the top 3 killer in America for ages like 21 and under? Like, I'd say that's a pretty big issue. Things like that. Instead of just like destroying all these departments, like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, the other thing too is like, okay, if you want to do all these, destroy all these departments, then have a plan. There's no plan, dude. They're just doing shit and they think it's like smart, and it's like, okay, whatever, dude. But it's just like, and this is the problem with politics, and this is why I don't like politics, is because politics in itself is basically just saying social issues versus actual issues. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole thing. Like, of course, like, the first thing that he like changes is like, banning trans women in women's sports or whatever. And it's like, dude, that is like the smallest issue in the world. Like, literally the smallest issue in the world, bro. Like, I don't know what the fuck. It's so sad, dude. And half the country voted for that method of thinking, right? And it's just like, dude, like, but to be fair, dude, like, I didn't see Kamala Harris, is it Kamala or Kamala? I always forget. I didn't see Kamala Harris talking much about solving any of these issues either. She was literally debating a maniac. It's like, you don't debate a maniac, you debate facts. You know what I mean? And sure, you can be like political with it. Like, you can be emotional. You can be, like, you can take yourself as seriously as Trump, right? But it's got to be the right issues that we're focusing on. The problem is, like I said, is they're not politically polarizing, so it like messes with people's psychology. If there's things that are just so agreeable, then people just like assume, you know what I mean? Like, well, of course everyone wants to end homelessness. And it's like, well, dude, apparently not. Because like I've like had this debate with people before. And I've listened to a few podcasts that have actually provided me with like pretty solid like evidence. But like we could end homelessness in like a year with the resources that we have. It's just politically can it happen. And the problem is, right, is like people are like, oh, well, the politics, it's like, no, we could end it. And then people are like, oh, well, it's really more complicated. It's like, no, it's not. It's really not. If like, that's what's so funny. It's like, if Trump can literally just do illegal shit and like be president, like, why can't you just end the homelessness? Like, you know, that's what's so funny. It's like, dude, we could end it tomorrow. You know, because it's like you need buildings, you need social workers, which provides jobs, by the way, which also helps out the economy because there's less crime, there's less homeless people, so the fucking city doesn't look like shit, and boom, done. And probably drug overdose deaths and the fentanyl crisis will get lowered, done. It literally is like good from every single side of possibility, and no one talks about it. And it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, because I think some people like don't realize how big of a problem homelessness is. It's like, it's because like, dude, we are in the richest nation in the world. There should be no one without a place to live. That's just ridiculous. We have too much resources and too many people like that are willing to help to not end that problem. And it's just ridiculous. I'm sick of the political bullshit. Like, oh, it's actually really complicated. You can't just do it. No, we can do that. Okay. Like the fuck. Like, I just think that that's like something that's so blatant. The problem is like no one can agree on like how to solve the problem. It's just like, and I think this is a common misconception. And I think this is one of the biggest issues with the homelessness. God, why is this turning political? But I think one of the biggest issues is that it's not, it really isn't a large majority of the population of people that are homeless, right? Or people that are mentally unhealthy. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to be able to have a job. They can't just live off of welfare. They need to be in a facility. And that doesn't mean like, oh, they don't have freedom or what. It means they have a place to stay with mental health professionals. And yes, some of them will live there the rest of their lives, right? But you know what I mean? People genuinely think that that's worse than living on the street. Like, I just think that that's like, I remember hearing this from, shout out Dr. Mike Israetel, but like, because I kind of knew this, but I didn't like, you know, like I didn't think about it like in terms of like, could you scale it, right? Like, I never thought it was scalable, and it is. And it's really not that expensive because, you know, we have the National Guard for a reason. They could completely help with this. You have the Army Corps of Engineers design the facilities. You have the National Guard basically facilitate how everything gets done. And then, yeah, boom, homelessness ended and probably drug crime completely down. You know what I mean? And then economy goes up, boom, done. It's like, it's such a big thing. But yeah, like, I think that's the problem is like people are thinking too much, I think, in like just giving out resources. It's like, no, we need a building, we need a facility, where everyone can just like live, like they can be taken care of the rest of their life. And also don't give me that shit like we can't afford it. We can afford it. Especially with the amount of money that you'll make just not having homeless people. And like I said, one of the biggest things is you have literally a facility that's a mental health facility, a hospital, and like a place of just housing. And you have like a small studio apartment that has a TV, a bed, a bathroom, and that's it. You know what I mean? In a closet to hold your clothes, and you can live there as long as you want, for as free as you want, and anyone can use it at any time. And no, there's not going to be some random, like, do you really think like someone that just like doesn't want to like live in society is just going to go in there? No, because it's a, like, no one wants to live in basically a government subsidized facility unless they have to. And that's the point. And then, you know, you have obviously like a mental health ward, you have you have like a hospital in there. And then you have like obviously insane security. And then you have, you know, a bunch of mental health social workers. You have classes where people can figure out how they can get jobs, get themselves back on their feet. And you have a permanent location where people that are just down on their luck and need help, they can get their welfare checks, right? Because they're in a permanent location and they can just literally get distributed out from the government that they're living in right there. And that's it. You know what I mean? And everything is free. You never have to owe the government anything. Anyone can use it, whatever. And it has like, you know, it has like a gym. It has, you know, healthy food available. So it'll be like healthy food that's given out, you know, 3 times a day. So you have 3 meals a day completely paid for and free. And like I said, this is probably totally affordable. And you just put these in probably every major city. And you put these big facilities and literally you end homelessness. And it's I guarantee you it's so easy to do. But no one wants to do it because it's like I said, it's like one of those things, like I feel like it's a logical fallacy. It's like one of those things where it's like everyone knows it's such an obvious thing that they just assume that it probably just can't be done because no one does it. And if I've learned anything about life, it's that everyone at the top has no idea what they're doing, just like us. So it's probably the same thing as like just no one's actually considered that. And I think like, dude, if I was running for president, that would be like the first thing on my campaign. I'm end homelessness. I'm going to try to put as much money into medical research as possible so we can literally end every major disease, which also attracts tons of money and economy. Because it puts us at the top of technological advancement. And then also if we're the country that comes up with, you know, the way to cure cancer, right? Like, that's going to make a lot of countries want to respect us. And then we can start fighting for rights for women, literally women, because like in a lot of countries in the world, women don't have basic human rights. So like, you know what I mean? Like, when you have that level of power where like you're the country that ends cancer and those countries don't want to have cancer, like, and you have that power, you know what I mean? It gives you a little more leeway. I don't know how that works politically, but I'm just like making shit up now. And yeah, but yeah, like most like my like smart political friends, they always just say, oh, well, it's really more complicated than that. And it's like, dude, we're the richest country in the world and we have some of the smartest people in the world. Let's make this complicated then. Let's fix it. Like I want to put all our resources in this. And then you end drug abuse somehow. And then also I think, you know, I'm not like full on libertarian, but like, dude, I think, you know, it's gray area, right? Government, it's one of the things that I definitely believe is like the government should have gray area because there should be grace within that. So like, for example, abortion should 100% be legal. It's government overreach if you make that illegal. You know, that's what's so funny about the don't tread on me people is it's like, okay, don't tread on me until it's something that you don't want. You know what I mean? Because they're the same people that are definitely against abortion. It's like, that's literal government overreach. Literal government overreach. And you're calling yourself a libertarian. Because you're basically telling someone they can't do what they want to their own body. Same thing with drugs. They should be allowed to do as many drugs as they want because it's their own body, which also, you know, once we end homelessness and have this resource facility, like I said, that anyone can use, so we could also make it like a dual thing where it's like anyone with an addiction or something like that, they can also go into that building. So then also if it's someone that just needs like some support, some mental health support, and just needs a place to live, like they get kicked out or something, instead of just being kicked off to the street, you know, like suicide rates will go down as well because you'll have mental health support for people with addictions. You'll have mental health support for people that are like, you know, just abandoned by their family or something. And it's all right there in the heart of the city. And you make it a beautiful modern facility too. You don't make it like some like sterile hospital. Like you make it really nice. So that's the whole thing. And you have it clean, everything. It would be sick. But yeah, so it's just like, I totally think like those 3 issues, drugs and fentanyl crisis, like all that, big issue. Oh, I forgot the biggest issue, education. I think education should be taught in a much different way. So obviously, yeah, keep math and everything, whatever. But I think one of the biggest things is teaching the American population to conceptualize what logical fallacies are and what scale is. Like, and I was talking to my dad about this, but like, people have no idea like what studies actually mean. So like having like literally basic classes of teaching how to see misinformation. And I don't mean history class, okay? I mean like a literal class on misinformation and logical fallacies. You have a psychology class that kind of teaches you how your brain works, and it will help people hopefully to understand themselves a little bit better. Now, it's not going to be a big difference, right? Because I feel like, like your intelligence is kind of genetically set unless we have genetic engineering, but like that's kind of like genetically set. You can only improve it by like a little bit, you know what I mean? Like you're not going to be able to go from, me to Einstein, right? Just by reading books, because you would have already read those books and became Einstein. You know what I'm saying? Like I know who I am. I know I have low IQ. So, but yeah, education is a huge one. And then obviously infrastructure, make the country look nice, be creative, make it a place where like artists want to be and produce music, like things like that, like really just like have a cultural renaissance. Like everyone in the country should just be happy and just be pursuing their passion. And that should just be what the country is all about. And truthfully, like that is kind of what America is supposed to be about, is just pursuing your passion and being successful with it. And that's all it should be about, right? Like if you're into, being a railroad, is it driver? Is it technician? I don't know. A railroad, like, the guy that drives the train, right? If that's your thing, that's your thing. And then you can make $100K a year off of that, and you're able to do that. And that's your passion. You love driving trains. You know what I mean? And you're given the support to do that. That's it. I think those are the biggest things. So I don't know what that would be. I don't know what my political compass is, because I wouldn't say I'm a libertarian, because I think I was talking to one of my teammates about this, but like one of the things that I think is so funny is how like incompetent police officers are. Just like not even like we're not even talking about racism, or we're not even talking about like, they are just genuinely incompetent. And I think the other thing is like most of them are stupid, because like I said, since half the country for some reason is stupid, just like no one like can think rationally. So I think that's hard, and I think they should be trained like, you know what I mean? They should be trained like they're in the military. You know what I mean? It's our own country. You know what I mean? Like they should be trained like it, and they should probably have to have some type of like specialized mental health training, like how to deal with someone that's having a mental health breakdown, behavioral, science, something like that. They have to take at least a community college level course in behavioral science, and they can't be a police officer unless they do it and pass it and get like an A or some shit. Like it should be very hard to be a police officer. I mean, there should be like a level of like aura around police officers, and there's not. That's the problem, is no one respects police officers, which just leads into even more problems, because if no one respects you, right, then it's just going to lead into you like having a power trip, and then you're going to just start like abusing your power just because you don't have any. So that's the huge thing, is like, police officers should be like, as Ty would say, Navy SEALs. It really is true. And I will say this, I'm not like a pro-gun person, but I think guns are honestly kind of a fundamental right, because you have to think about it like this. In Australia, and I don't know Australian culture that much, but I guarantee you their culture around guns is not as big as ours. Our our fundamental culture is based on guns. Not only that, but it's more of a consent of the governed. It's like a we're good because we're good kind of thing. Like, because we have the rights to guns, it means that it's like the consent of the government. I don't know how to say it without sounding stupid, but I just think that that's true. I don't know how to solve school shootings. Like, I genuinely don't know. If I had to guess, it would be by, like, something with the media and how they portray it is probably a huge factor. And I think, like, obviously regulations and things like that. But if you look at the data, which I skim through it, I'm not like, you know me, I don't read. But from what I've read, it seems like most legal gun owners do not commit crime. The problem is it's the one legal gun owner that decides to shoot up 20 people because they feel like it. And that's the part where it's like, are you willing to pay for the price of a mass shooting, but also having the right to bear arms? You know what I mean? And it's definitely a tough situation because morally, I don't think anyone should have the right to want a gun. But I also think it's almost like a white privilege thing, because it's like, yeah, that's coming from like someone who's like never been fucked with before. You know what I mean? But like, if the government's fucking with us, you know what I mean? And it's always the argument like, oh, you don't have an F-16. And I used to believe this, but then I realized, like, you ever been to Vietnam? You ever been to Afghanistan? Like, we were literally like professionals at killing. And they like literally would destroy us every single time because they knew their land and they fought for their land and we fought for nothing. So, and I think that that's like so true, is like giving ourselves or having ourselves have the right to protection in that sense is like, we actually would, if there was some level of government overreach, especially with Trump in office, right? It kind of makes sense. And also, like I said, is like, it would kind of turn into like like the alcohol thing where they like made alcohol illegal. And then what happened, right? What happened? Everyone just started just like having like a renaissance of it. Like, everyone would just hide it from the police. And then, you know what I mean? So it's going to be the same thing with guns. Like, you're not going to, here's the first thing. You're not going to get rid of guns. In the same way they couldn't get rid of alcohol. So in that sense, it's like, and I would probably argue, I don't know how many more people get killed by like the consumption of alcohol if you like factor in like, diseases contracted from that, and like the DUI deaths, things like that, right? And alcohol is legal, right? I'm sure alcohol is responsible for thousands and thousands of deaths a year in America. I genuinely don't know. So, but I if I had to hypothesize, that would be my hypothesis. Like I said, I could be totally wrong in everything I'm saying. I would love someone to like tell me, because I just want to solve the problem. I don't care about the political way we get there. I want to solve the problem. So yeah, why did I just rant about politics for the last 20 minutes? That's stupid. Okay, let's end this on a good note. I feel like that was kind of depressing. It's nice and sunny out. Oh, I paced my dad. So turned around after the race. And then today, dude, my legs felt like it's like this, like, it's not soreness necessarily. It's just like your muscle fibers just don't want to produce force. That's what it feels like. It feels more like nervous system shutdown. Like your just nervous system's fried. Because I was like pacing my dad for like 6:59 mile. And I was like, damn, dude, I'm like kind of like dead. But yeah, he did like 3 by mile, 2 minutes to 90 seconds rest, and we were doing that. Like the first one was 6:59, and then he slowed down a little bit, 7 flat to like 7:15 or something. And then he did 2 full mile, which was like basically 7:40 pace. So I paced him for all of that. A nice slow warm up and cool down. Good for me, because I mean, hey, I ended up getting like 7 miles of easy mileage in, so okay. But my legs were dead. But yeah, he did a great job. He's preparing for the Shamrock Run. Oh yeah, I gotta probably talk to the compliance office, because I was probably planning on pacing him and my brother. So I was going to pace my brother in the 5K probably for like, it's next Sunday, but I was going to probably pace him for like, I don't know, 650 pace for the 5K. He's like in good shape, dude. He's going to be better than me. It's like really sad. My brother mogs me, dude. It's awesome, but it's sad. But yeah, my dad, he's really trying to get to like where he can hold sub 7 for 8K. The problem is he just like with his job, and then also like he likes strength training, so he putting on muscle, so that slows you down. So you know, he weighs like 170, and he's just older, so he can't recover. Like he just can't do that much volume with his full-time job. He's tried to keep it with like, you know, swimming, and then he'll do runs, and then, you know, he does these workouts, but like I said, is like, you know, he really can only do like one really, really hard session a week. So that kind of limits him a little bit. But so I think his plan is to stay anywhere between 715 to 7 flat for basically the whole thing, and then last mile really try to like run sub 7. And I think that's a great goal. But I would really like, it would be really cool to see him run sub 7 miles for like, for an 8K. That would be really cool. 8K, 10K, whatever. But yeah, so that'll be cool. It's also my brother's birthday. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to go to his birthday. That'll be cool. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else in my life going on? Oh yeah, I'm going to that concert on Tuesday. We'll see how that goes. Not like, we'll see, like, because it's classical music. It's not necessarily my thing. So I'm just hoping that there's some good harmonies in there to keep me interested. It's supposed to be like candlelit or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so I got to see my like psychiatrist / pediatrician tomorrow so I can like figure out my like medication situation, because I don't think the Ritalin's even strong enough, dude. Like I said, it like kind of makes me feel so. And I just need more pills. God, it sounds like they're gonna probably think I'm like addicted. Like, oh, you. But anyways, yeah. So I gotta do that. God, it's at 10:50 a.m., bro. It's just like, it sucks because that means I'm gonna have to get straight up and go there, and then I still got to do my like run by myself. I'm still gonna have to do weights. Oh man, okay, that's gonna suck. And then next day I have what do I have? I have a lecture. And then I'm going to the concert, which is at 6:30. And I don't know if I need to show up there early. Like, does it start at 6:30 and I have to be there 30 minutes early? And I'm going with someone, so I'll have to figure that out. You know, that is the nice part about ADHD, is you do usually figure it out in the moment, but it's just like the level of anxiety that gets built up because of that just sucks. It's like, oh yeah, I'll be spontaneous, but then it's like, you know that the spontaneity is coming, or like you'll forget and then realize that you got actually tons of things you need to do. And then I got to grind homework. So like, that's the problem, is like, I'm not going to really be able to grind homework realistically till Wednesday. Like, that's the way the ADHD brain works, is you can really only do one major thing a day, because it's like your entire like brain gets focused on that thing. So until that main thing is complete, and then sometimes you'll just be genuinely tired and then you just can't do it. But then there's like both, where you're just like neurologically tired and then also you're like physically tired. If that makes sense. I don't know how to describe that. But yeah, that'll be interesting. And then Tuesday, the workout hasn't been sent out yet. I'm feeling like really good. Like, I felt really strong in that race, just because I could execute the plan. And it was like the perfect amount of like, it was hard and I pushed myself, but I wasn't just like, you know what I mean? I wasn't giving up on myself. I wasn't having like, because there was a few moments where I was like, oh dude, this kind of hurts. And I was like, no, fuck that. And then I was like passing people and I was slowly progressing. It's just so much better to negative split, dude. I'm never going out fast in a race again. Like, every time I go out fast in a race, I never PR and I never run well. And every time I go out slow the first mile, I've always PR'd. It's so hilarious. That's just how I work, dude. And I think I got to do that. And that's just going to have to be my race plan. I mean, like I said, the only time that I'd probably change that is the 815, just because you're running so fast that it's just like you're just running all out for that given amount of time. But like 3K and above, 3K is kind of hard because it's just VO2 pace. So it's just like VO2 is also kind of like you just feel like you're running all out the whole time. So it's just whatever pace you can sustain for 7.5 laps or whatever. So that's also kind of interesting. But like 5K and up, 100% first mile should be calm, bro. Like right at anaerobic threshold is like what you want to do. Because in the worst case scenario, you progress and then you also have some kick left if people went out too hot. So then you can like catch people at the end. But yeah, it was just a well executed performance. I'm ready to go, dude. Like I think by the end of this year, 1540 is totally doable in the 5K. And 10K, I just want to get on that, like, I want to be top 5 freshman all-time in the 10K. There's only even 7 times. And I think a top 5 time would be, like, high 33, which is really, I think, doable if I can just keep working on my extension of pace. So if I just keep getting more 80-second, 79-second, repeat miles and stuff in, then I think I'm really going to, like, pay off. And I think genuinely, like, I think it's almost like a blessing in disguise not being able to do the speed because I've been having to do like threshold reps slower instead. But I think it's actually going to help because I think one, I respond to that training better anyways, but I think two, it just actually has like been getting me better fitness because the more volume. And like I said, I already respond better to that training. Like that's who I am as a runner. So like the speed I don't need, like, and also like the speed is like, you don't need to do that much speed training to get better at speed, whereas like running like slower, like aerobic adaptations take so long because like the mitochondria and shit, like it takes a long time to systematically change it to where like, running easy is hard. But like, because like realistically, it took me 3 months of like 60 plus mile weeks to get to the point where I could like do training runs at like 6:30 and my heart rate would be like in aerobic zone, and that's like after a hard workout day the next day. So like still building back to that. But yeah, I really want to just like compete and just like, just run fast and run the standards. Like I said, I think the easiest standard to get is going to be that 10K 33 flat because it's just barely 520 pace. And it's like, when I rationalize it, I'm like, could I hold 80s for that long? And the answer is yes, just not yet. Because I think like when I did the 5K, it's not necessarily that, like if I did that race and like minus the kick that I did the last lap because I ran a 72, but like if you take that race and I just held that, like I feel like I could have held it. I could have held that effort. It's not the, like I said, it's not the extension. It's the fact that like I just can't run, you know what I mean? I can't run 79, 78s, but I can run 80 to 83 like it's nothing. So I could just do that forever and ever. So like, it's not necessarily that I can't hold it, right? Like if I kept running, I'm curious as to how much longer I could go hitting, below 80 to 79, and then just keep hitting those, right? Because I think that part I can do. I can hold that. I can grind that pace. It's that surge of pace that I'm good at, but it's still like, it's just I got to get the speed down. But I think these like aerobic days are really paying off, and then just a lot of rest and a solid amount of volume, but a lot of rest and really trying to get the speed in to have that neurological adaptation of like, okay, you can run 450. And then just as close as we can get to being a really good 5K runner will also pay dividends in the 10K, right? Because like I said, like having the speed to be able to close, then I don't have to worry about in the 10K if I run a slow middle mile, then it's just like, okay, last mile I can really burn it down, right? So, that's what's nice. And I guess what's nice about the longer events too is it slowly gets harder over time, which is kind of like nice. like it starts out like you're like, oh, this is like a jog. Like the start is like the least stressful thing in the world. Whereas like, 3K and below, it's like you're literally from the gun. It's like, like it's brutal, But yeah, so I think it's great. Is there anything else to say? There's not much else to say. I gotta go grind homework. So I'll see y'all. Adios.